Hey there, Cowboys fans. The next step on our march to 100,000 subscribers is 89K. We are very close to it, 88,548. So if you want to stay in the know on everything going on around the Dallas Cowboys for free agency, Dak Prescott, and the draft as well, hit that big red button and subscribe. Cowboys rumors coming at you with Dak Prescott contract talk. Is Dak not worth Deshaun Watson money? I'm going to give this one star, meaning there's a little bit of truth to it, but like all contract stuff, there's quite a bit to actually break down and discuss. Now, Slater of NFL Network and NFL.com spoke with some NFL GMs, and they view Dak Prescott as the 6th to 10th best quarterback in the NFL, saying he's worth around $34 to $38 million. He shouldn't get Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes money. There's a lot to discuss with this point, so we'll take some time. Begin with the first note there. 6th to 10th. Seems fair to me. Maybe you want to rank Dak as high as 5th or 4th or whatever. You want to rank him as low as 10th. That's fine too. It's picking your flavor of ice cream. It doesn't really matter all that much. What does matter is the NFL views Dak Prescott as a legitimate franchise quarterback. And that guy is expensive. The $34 to $38 million price tag, that was spot on for last year, the last time the Dak and the Cowboys were able to discuss contracts, which is why, of course, it's behind Mahomes and Watson, right? Here's the problem with that. In an ideal world, yes, you would be able to get Dak Prescott for a little bit less than what Deshaun Watson is worth. However, this is a year after the Deshaun Watson contract. The timing of deals matter. In an ideal world, yes, Dak Prescott is not the second best quarterback in the NFL. Therefore, he should get no higher than the third highest paid contract, right? Not how it works. We should all remember when Kirk Cousins, when Jimmy Garoppolo, when Derek Carr, all players who were not as good as Dak Prescott became the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. The $34 to $38 million price tag, that worked last year. This year's different, though. And Jane Slater said the exact same thing when I talked with her about it on Twitter. The reality is the deal's expensive for Dak. When he's staring down a franchise tag worth almost $38 million and then gets hit free agency the year after that, you're going to have to pay him Deshaun Watson money, if not more. Now, Mahomes money, I think we're all agreed with on you. You don't want to pay Dak that. Although, if he gets to free agency next year, you're going to be surprised how much he actually gets. Here was the other note that I wanted to mention from Jane when after she talked with NFL GMs, Dak's 1-2 in the postseason. Yes, he has an incredible regular season win-loss mark with the Dallas Cowboys, but it really is the lack of postseason success that leads a lot of them, meaning the NFL GMs, to feel this way. Which is fine if you're comparing to Patrick Mahomes, right? I take issue, though, and you guys should too, with the Dak versus Watson comparisons. These are their playoff stats. The completion percentage, higher for Dak Prescott. The yards per attempt, significantly higher for Dak Prescott. Total touchdowns, favor Dak. Interceptions, those favor Deshaun. They're both 1-2, though. So I have a difficult time understanding how the reason you can't pay Dak Watson money is playoff success when they've had the exact same playoff success. In reality, in terms of what they've done in the NFL, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, they really aren't that different. Those two players have had very similar NFL careers. I mean, can you imagine trying to pay Dak Prescott after his team blew a significant 20-plus point lead against the Chiefs? Tough convo to have, right? So I'm in favor of paying Dak, and I think the reality is it's going to have to take you more than Deshaun Watson money because that's how the NFL works. Even if you're not the best at your given position, the next guy up always gets just a little bit more. So would you pay Dak Prescott more than Deshaun Watson? And what I'm really asking is, would you pay Dak Prescott, period? Because at this stage, if you don't give Dak Prescott 39.1 or above million on his deal, I think you're going to have a pretty tough time actually getting that deal done. So get your votes in. Would you pay Dak more than Watson? Y for yes, or type in N for no. Some more rumors here around the Cowboys. How about Reggie Robinson back to corner? I'll give this one 4 stars. This, of course, is Will McClay's guy out of the draft out of Tulsa. Mike Fisher reports that the Cowboys have informed him that he's moving back to cornerback for the 2021 season. Last year, after being a 4th-round pick from Tulsa, Robinson barely got on the football field in terms of period. Both special teams, defense. I think there was like 1 or 2 total defensive snaps. He was credited for 1 tackle on the season. Got a couple of special teams reps down the stretch as well. He barely got to play last season. The team took him as a corner, moved him to safety, and he never got on the field, period. Secondary still for the Cowboys remains a major area of need. And the Cowboys, unfortunately, don't have any idea from a practical standpoint what they have in their 4th-round pick from Tulsa because you didn't see him play. So under contract right now, you have Trevon Diggs, Anthony Brown, Maurice Kennedy set to return from his COVID opt-out last year, and then it's Reggie Robinson II, Rashard Robinson, who played a little bit but isn't anything special, Savion Smith, Deontay Burton all in there too. You've got 1.5 proven guys, maybe 2 if you want to call it Anthony Brown, but if you're including Brown, you probably want 4 guys, and you don't have that at the current moment. So even with Robinson moving to cornerback, I don't think the Cowboys can feel like, oh yeah, we're good at corner with Diggs, Robinson, and Brown. You got to get at least one more starting caliber player in there before you feel close to confident. Speaking of confidence, where's yours at with Reggie Robinson? For this upcoming season, how confident are you in him? Rate this for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you got next to nothing, 10 being you think he and Trevon Diggs are going to be the greatest cornerback duo in NFL history. Now, today's show is made possible by BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. The link, it's right there, bottom of your screen. Producer Sam uses it all the time, and sometimes he makes money, sometimes he doesn't make money. But you're probably smarter than Producer Sam. So if you go to chatsports.com/bet, use promo code Cowboys125, you can bet on all kinds of stuff. NBA, March Madness, for example, and some futures odds around who's going to win the NFC East, right? Producer Sam, you're going Cowboys, right? He's going Cowboys too, so for once, Sam can be as smart as you guys watching. Cowboys minus 120. He's mad at me, by the way, for this. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys125. Make sure to use that URL and that promo code to get the deposit bonus. Let's chat. Cowboys draft now. Elijah Molden as a potential target here for Dallas. Joe Rodriguez says the Cowboys have met virtually, because that's all you can do this year, right, with Elijah Molden, what is an interesting prospect for the Cowboys to show interest in. And I'm glad that they are. Now, Molden out of Washington, impactful corner. I think he likely ends up playing nickel in the NFL. Maybe could get some safety reps. We'll talk about that later on here. But he's undersized. He does not fit the Cowboys' typical mold of long, athletic playmakers at the cornerback spot. He does, however, check off the playmaker side of it. His past 2 years for Washington, which, remember, COVID shortened year for Washington. He didn't play that much because the Pac-12 was weird. 64%, only 600 yards, though, in terms of that. As often as he got targeted, they were a lot of short area quick passes that didn't go for very much. Allowed just 2 touchdowns, picked off 5 passes, and had 13 pass breakups. You throw in over 100 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, and oh, by the way, 3 forced fumbles. I think Molden, in terms of the pure slot cornerbacks, the pure nickels in this year's class, I think he's the best one. You can mix in Asante Samuel there, but I think he's kind of in the outside cornerback maybe mold. I like Molden. He would be a great fit, probably in round 2, or if you get lucky, round 3, for the Cowboys to come in and take that nickel cornerback role. You can make Anthony Brown your key backup who can play inside and outside. Trevon Diggs is cornerback 1. Still got to figure out CB2, but I think he could be a good, impactful nickel for you. Now, some other nickel prospects that we'll see if the Cowboys show interest in, right? Shakur Brown, who is a bit more of an outside guy from Michigan State, but's played both. Aaron Robinson actually could move to outside corner in the NFL. Asante Samuel, some people will view him as an outside zone corner, but I think for the Cowboys specifically, probably makes the most sense at nickel. Kerry Vincent Jr. from LSU, super fast, but kind of a cornerback safety hybrid. Shaun Wade, who I was excited to see move to outside corner, was bad, did not have a very good year, and is not in the discussion whatsoever for a top 50 pick. So you look at that at the Cowboys in the secondary. You could put Elijah Molden in there at nickel. What you could also do is experiment with Molden as a safety, which is what Washington did at the back end of their season. The final game, they moved Molden to free safety. And I think there will be some teams who want to try him there full time. Bit of a gamble to take your top 50 pick and put him at a different position, but it could make some sense. Now, the Cowboys could, of course, look elsewhere, right? Trevon Merrick, Ardarius Washington, the 2 TCU kids, Richie Grant from Central Florida, Javon Holland kind of fits a similar mold of undersized nickel safety hybrid from Oregon, Andre Sisco, a big impact free safety, but inconsistent. He's a playmaker in the sense that he makes plays and also gives up quite a few plays as well. So I'm glad to see the reports of the Cowboys exploring Elijah Molden and looking at him as a potential probably day 2 draft pick. He does not fit their typical mold, but as either a nickel corner or maybe even a safety, I like him quite a bit. He's there in round 2. I wouldn't hate that pick whatsoever. So do you guys want Elijah Molden on this Dallas Cowboys team? Let's say you have to take him in the middle of the second round. Get your votes in for me. Type D if you want to draft him, or you can type in P for pass, and it's not something you really want to go do. Let's go to free agency here to wrap up today's show. How about the Cowboys and Corey Linsley, the Packers' pending free agent center? I'm going to give it 1 star. Not because I dislike the player, but because I'm not sure the practicality of it makes all that much sense. Now, ESPN, but also really Pro Football Focus because it was a PFF article for ESPN, the ideal free agent target for all 32 teams. And they went with Corey Linsley. And I disagree. I don't think that's their best route here. Now, make no mistake, Linsley would be an upgrade at center. But the Cowboys did just draft Tyler Biadasz, and even though he wasn't perfect in year 1, I'm intrigued by his upside, and I want to give him a shot. And I want to see if maybe you bring back Joe Looney or even let Connor McGovern play some center if you need to. So, yes, you're looking for an upgrade at center, but you have to remember the cost involved here. Seattle the Cowboys do not have much money. Now, offensive line compared to a team like Seattle, not nearly as big of a need. So compared to the defense needs all this help, right? If you're signing Corey Linsley, you're getting involved in a bidding war between all the teams who are in the market for a legitimate center. And the way free agency works, that guy's going to get close to the highest paid guy in the NFL at that position. Do you want to pay Corey Linsley $12 million when you could be able to get by with Tyler Biadasz for a season? I'm not sure that's the route I want to go. If you don't believe in Biadasz quite yet, okay, different conversation. And yes, he'd be a big-time upgrade. But I want to spend my available cap space on defense. My offense is good right now. I can find a cheaper option if needed. I don't want to spend all that money on a center in free agency. So as we go here, I want you guys to let me know in the comments section a free agent that you want the Dallas Cowboys to sign. That could be offense, could be defense, or even special teams if you're weird. Let me know what you guys think.